Hi everyone, my name is Alice, and if you are new here, I make a bunch of vlogs and videos of me unboxing trinkets and stuff, but I wanted to try posting a kind of a heart-to-heart type mental health focused video because I'm like kind of like a therapist friend, and I always have been for a bunch of my friends because I just love talking about self-development and self-love, and I've worked on it for so long for myself, so I wanted to talk about it today. And the topic of this video, I'm going to do multiple sections, like different episodes, because I feel like the idea of self-love is so broad, and like how to truly get to the point where you truly love yourself and value yourself is a very long and lengthy process, right? So today's key points of the episode is keeping boundaries equals self-respect. I've had to learn this kind of the hard way because I am very much of a people pleaser, and it has bit me in the ass, quite unfortunately. But keeping boundaries, I think, is so important in truly being the best version of yourself, not only because you learn more about who you are as a person, and I know this sounds like, of course, like no shit, like duh, you have to keep boundaries, right? But we often forget that it's so important, and we fray away from it and kind of go out of our own boundaries, right? Like we say that we're gonna do something and then we don't, and then we don't hold ourselves accountable to those boundaries. And I'm sorry if that sounds like kind of complicated, but I'm gonna go into it. So, in this process, you're going to lose a lot of people. You have to be prepared for change and accepting of this in order for growth. I wrote that because keeping boundaries means that you won't be able to satisfy everybody. Keeping boundaries means that you're going to upset those that you were constantly there for and aided in every situation, was there for them and poured all of you to them, right? And while I think as a lover girl myself, I get it. And you'll see what I mean when I say that you're gonna lose some people in the process. And I don't want this to scare you in any way, but I feel like it's for the best, right? And before I go more into this, I have to make a note. I am not a professional. I am just simply sharing what I think works and has worked for me. Okay, keep that in mind, please. So when I say that you're gonna lose people in the process of growth, I feel like a lot of people know this too, right? Okay, let's say, for example, you go out of your way to do something for a friend. And you do it often, but you don't get that energy back, right? And it upsets you. Evaluate if this is because they have too much going on in their life and it's simply not a you problem, or if this is just a friendship that doesn't serve the purpose it should. And I set this example because you have to set certain boundaries for people when you are like a person like me who is a people pleaser, who goes out of their way to do things for them. And it got to the point where I was super drained and I didn't have any energy left in me to focus on myself, right? And this seems obvious, but like you really have to stick with these boundaries, not only with everyone else, but with yourself. And this is truly the key to growth, because like once or twice, like you do something for a friend or your partner or your family, and you're like, okay, like I said no past times, and this time it's going to be really difficult for me to do, and it's, I'm canceling one of my important plans for this, but, for them I have to do it, so I do it, right? That can happen. right? Because growth comes, again, from keeping and sticking with those boundaries. Instead of that situation happening where you say, okay, like, I'll do this for you, because once you give in, right, they're going to come back and ask for more. And there's nothing wrong with those people at all, because that's just what they're used to, perhaps. But you have to be able to stick to those boundaries. And I know I'm going to say that so often in this video, and I'm sorry, but it's just so important. And that's how important it is. And it takes small baby steps into getting to this point. But you have to like constantly like drive it into your brain that this is what you have to do. Because one little slip up is going to make them think, okay, so it is fine that I keep asking of this from this person. And they're going to continue to do it. And then it's going to be even harder. And then it will feel like you're taking steps back, not front, right? Not front, forward. I wrote, accept that you can't please everyone. And at the end of the day, you are the only person that you can rely on 100%. This one was really hard for me, and I still work on all of these things, but I have a good general sense of this, so I can like catch myself more. But this was really hard for me to accept because I really want everyone around me to be happy, and I really want to be the best daughter, the best friend, the best partner, the best, everything. So it was really hard for me to envision like a not so perfect version of myself, because again, I'm a perfectionist, and that is my goal for some reason. I don't know, it's just like it's in me to be the absolute best version of myself to everybody, and this was hard to accept. But you have to accept this in order to grow, because I feel like we set certain standards for ourselves that make it so exhausting for us to like actually be human, right? And when we do these things where we like put ourselves in those situations, it's hard for us to grow, because we ruminate in that, we sit in that feeling, and we, it's sad. And we don't see any progress, right? I also wrote, communication is key. Not only with yourself, but asking yourself what you need and like deserve, but also with the people in your life. I am like communication queen because I constantly drive it into everyone around me that communication is so important. And it really, really is. And like, this is not taught in schools, it's not as like driven into people like how important and valuable communication is, right? So you have to ask yourself, is this okay with me? Is this okay for me? And how do I feel when I constantly go out of my way for people and it's taking away my time, and I'm like canceling my own plans and schedules that I've had in my head for me, and ignoring my own needs for the sake of others, right? And how do you feel when you do that? You have to ask yourself, and this is basically like a self-analysis, right? You assess these different situations that you've had and experiences with people that you've had and your friends and family and loved ones, and think, was I happy in this situation? Is this something I would want for myself? And once you analyze those situations, you actually put in effort to make a change. Not just think about it and think, oh, that kind of sucked, like I wanted to do this instead of that. You have to actually put forth action in order for a change to happen, right? So that would mean, telling your friend like, hey, and don't abuse like this point of like communication, right? Don't, like, for example, your friend like it wanted you to go grab something from the grocery store, and like you have like a million things to do, and you just like are going to freak out and you're overwhelmed and you can't, right? And they kind of got upset. They're like, oh, well, it seemed like you had time. Like, why didn't you just do it for me? Instead of doing it and getting angry in a calm, well-mannered way, your response could be, hey, if I had the time, I genuinely would, but I already had these things I wanted to do for me, and it's really important for me to get them done. Otherwise, I'm not going to be in the best mood by the end of the day or tomorrow because I've had these plans set for myself. However, I will let you know if I could do it tomorrow. So you have some sort of compromise, right? And you are not sacrificing your needs, what you need to do, but you are saying potentially if I do have time and it isn't, in the way of things of my plans and my order, then I will definitely do it for you because I care about you and you're my friend, right? Why is this so important for self-love and development? I believe this is so crucial to growth and change within yourself because the more you sacrifice yourself, time, energy, etc., into everyone else, the less love you have to give to yourself. Once you make certain sacrifices for yourself to grow, the more you will see the truth behind the people around you. And people who take your boundaries in a very negative way aren't the type of people that you want to be around because people want you to grow. The people that actually care about you and love you are going to want to see you grow. They're going to want to watch you grow and be the best version of yourself. People that truly love and care about you will encourage you to focus that energy into yourself and want you to grow and never want to be in the way of that. I made a note of that, in my notes because I have had a lot of people come and go in my life, and I have met some people who weren't always satisfied with the boundaries that I hold, and it didn't always go the best way. And there are people who do care about you, who take those boundaries and limitations, I guess, maybe, and take it in the wrong way sometimes. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't love and care about you and they're not supposed to be in your life. However, maybe they're just not used to it. So if this person really means a lot to you, maybe, calmly try to get them to understand that these boundaries are held for the better purpose, right? These boundaries are held so you guys have a better bond, have a better relationship, friendship, or whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want to have great friendships. We want to have great relationships and bonds with the people that we love and care about. Healthy ones, not toxic ones, right? This leads to burnout and can eventually turn into sadness. And I'm talking about constantly sacrificing yourself, right? I am talking about boundaries so in depth like this because it has made such a big impact on my life and the amount of peace I have within myself. And it has obviously a very big role into self-love and self-development, self-analyzation, and everything else. And they all kind of tie in together at some point, right? I used to be someone that was so burnt out all the time, and I was wondering why, because I felt like I had so much love to give and I was giving a lot of love, and I was so confused. Like, why am I so tired all the time? Why am I so stressed out? And it was because I cared so much about the people that I have around me that I wanted to do everything for them. I was the people pleaser. I wanted to make sure they were satisfied, happy, everything was good for them. And that was at the cost of me and my mental sanity. And that was not exactly the best, because then it would lead to me being angry in certain situations, and the relationship was just not healthy at all in most cases for me, which is why I made a whole episode on this, and it's a very lengthy one. I truly hope this helps somebody. I am going to go into depth more with other kind of topics on this, like not just boundaries and stuff like that, but everything I've learned that help me become the best version of myself, and I believe I am truly getting there, so I hope this helped someone, maybe. I love talking about self-development and advice and things like that, so again, not a professional, but I really hope this helped you, and I really hope you find peace within yourself, not only for the betterness of you, but your relationships and your friendships and your bonds. That was the end of the video, and I have so much more coming, and if you liked it, please like and subscribe. But yeah, bye!